Alrighty then, so it's time for another skin tier list, but this one is a little bit different because instead of one champion, it's a menagerie of champions. Basically, the champions with the least amount of skins in the game. And yeah, it's kind of sad. Some of these have only one skin and it's probably really bad, or just two skins and some of them are actually ridiculously good. Now, Riot either really hates these champions, or to be fair to them, it's because these champions have a lot of particle effects and a lot of things to work with, or they're just not going to sell. So Riot has to think about, the shareholders first. So Ornn has one skin. Luckily for him, it is not a bad skin. It's not the best skin, but it's one of those reimagining skins where, like, if you feel like you want to go with a different motif or the same kind of theme, then there you go. Like, the original, the base skin Ornn is just, this molten kind of fire dude who just blacksmiths, a demigod kind of thing. But this one, the Thunder one, is sort of like a more, you would say, more mythological one, where he crafts with thunder and electricity, that kind of stuff. And he has the visuals to back that up. And of course, all of his abilities are thunder related. And if anything, it's sort of like, you could have released this as his base skin, and you would have totally bought it as that. Like, you could have imagined Ornn being this way originally. So it's one of those reimagining things. And with that, it does get some points. Like I said, it just replaces all the particle effects, all the visuals with thunder-related stuff. So on that essence, it's pretty good. But overall, it's just meh. I mean, they could continue this, right? And they can do all these other elements stuff for him. Like, they could make one that's more about, like, pure earthly stuff, terramorphing nature, plants, and whatnot. Because, you've got that kind of elf crafting in some fantasies. And you can go with water, all fishy stuff, like coral malphite. So his weapons and everything are like coral reefs, and he's using a giant, I don't know, shell as a hammer. Just weird ideas like that. Go with the elements. Or at least that's what I go with. So next one up is Reksai with her two glorious skins. So the first one up is Eternum Reksai. And what can I say? It's just, the weird not battle cast skin. Nocturne is the first one who had it, and his was legendary. And so Reksai must have it, and I'm surprised no other Void characters really have it. But yeah, it's a very boring skin, okay? It's just basically robot Reksai. And I kind of have this, I guess, bias against skins from a line. I have a bias when a new champion, or, well, in this case older, but when a champion gets released, with their first skin being part of a line that's long running, or it's part of a legendary set or something like that. Sort of like, what's her face? Kiana just barely got released, and she got an arcade skin as her release skin. I really dislike it when that happens, because it sort of just feels like they couldn't come up with something for them. Like I already mentioned in the previous skin that I talked about, the Ornn one, that I like it when skins are something that you can use it as a reimagining of a champion. So as a result, this one just kind of loses on those two fronts. It's not a reimagining of Reksai, because you'd never really wanted to imagine her as just a robot from the get-go, though it would eventually fit as a second skin. And it's part of a legendary skin line. Well, technically one legendary skin, but you know what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, I guess the only real good thing, I guess, is just the tunnels look pretty cool. And the laser's red, but overall, it's just a very lackluster skin, and I'm actually very disappointed that this one and the next one are the only skins she has, because I think a lot can be done with a basically giant desert lizard thing, whatever she's supposed to be. Void lizard, I don't know what she is. But yeah, it just kind of feels lazy. Alright, next one up is Pool Party Reksai, which automatically it will make some people not want it because it's a jokey kind of skin line, but though I really do like it. It's a land shark, so it's kind of funny on that aspect alone. Everything's obviously water themed. You got the little tiny donuts for the tunnels. Water. She shoots water at you, blue particles, all that good stuff. And that's kind of it. But in itself, that's just kind of all you really need, right? Just for the sake of it being kind of funny. the splashing and the sound effects. Plus, when you're stalking somebody, you actually get this like Jaws kind of music, so that's fun too. Though it's kind of really sad that they took away her little jet ski thing that she had with her old ultimate. I mean, Reksai's rework that she received a little while back, to removing of her ultimate. And that's a whole topic onto itself, how much I miss that old ultimate, but whatever. This one's, I would say, is an okay skin too. It's leaning onto good as well. It's like jokey skins, I tend to just notch some points away from them because the joke gets tired after a while. If the whole thing isn't incredibly impressive enough, though, like I said, to the fortune of this one, it's good on most cases, but it did lose also a ton of points due to the rework giving her this really lame pounce. So it just meh. It never looked good no matter what. So yeah, that's Reksai, and like I said in the previous little Reksai section, I really do feel they could do a lot more with her, but I guess she's just not popular enough for Riot to care. Next one up is Kled and his little knight skin, which is, I would say, I struggle whether or not to consider this a reimagining skin, or I mean a reimagined skin, or its own thing, because you could technically argue that this is something he could have had if they chose to plop him somewhere else in Runeterra with a kind of a slightly different backstory, and it would still kind of fit the same thing. Obviously, maybe a crazy little knight with his little chocobo thing, but it's like a little bit too on the nose on the whole references it's trying to make, so it might be more of a jokey skin. But that said, it's just kind of it's pretty boring skin. Whenever I've seen Kled players, they don't use this skin whatsoever. There's nothing really unique about it. It's pretty much the same thing as the regular skin, or I mean the base skin. So again, yeah, why would you pick this, right? I mean, why would you want to buy this? Aside from the visuals, I guess if you really like this costume, go ahead and shove out some more money for him. But I really do think this is one of the least exciting skins in the game. It looks nice, just boring all around. Alright, so I don't really have the means to talk about this other than one of the people from my Discord who actually does play Kled, and what his opinion was on this skin is he absolutely fucking hates this thing. Like, hey, and apparently according to Reddit, it's kind of the common consensus. Not that it is like not hilarious or anything, because I'll go back to that one in a second. Because as far as I'm concerned, little pumpkin hook is kind of funny. The fact that you get different music when you use your ultimate, Halloween theme, is fun too. And that's kind of it. Everything else is just the same thing. It kind of runs into the same problem as Reksai, where there's very little to actually work with. So it's kind of difficult to make something, visual effects wise or super impressive. So you're just kind of stuck making costume changes. And this one isn't so bad, at least in my opinion, because has to write a bad. He's a little tiny vampire with a giant mustache. But according to Kled players, they really wanted a cool one, because this was just another funny one. It's a funny one, and plus it's a Halloween one. So if you didn't get it, well, too bad. And that's kind of it. They just really didn't want this kind of crap again. I'm using their words. As the Discord person put it, I don't want this. I kind of was hoping for something a lot better, something more serious, because, while Kled is really funny, they just kind of wanted something cool, not, gimmicky, in which the gimmick just runs out real fast. So I'll leave you that. For the one Kled player who watches my videos, you can tell me what you think about this skin. But yeah, any Kled I've ever seen play, again, they're just kind of all using the base skin. No one uses any skin of Kled. And that's probably why Riot doesn't want to make any more skins for him ever again. So next one up is Talia, and like I've been mentioning with other skins already in this video, I like reimagined skins. So the current base skin is obviously shroom based, desert, hot colors, sand, and this one is more like, what if instead of Shurima we had placed her in Freljord, and such, all her abilities are ice themed, all her colors are just kind of blue and white, very snow colors. And in that case, I just really like that, especially if you were going with that kind of theme, or you like that kind of thematic shift, instead of something super dramatic as, Candy, Talia, or whatever. It's just simply, What if she was a different element? And in that case, it gets a lot of points, and I actually do consider this one of the higher tier release skins. Because, you know, when you have comparisons like Reksai's disappointing Eternum one, and then Talia and Ornn's good release ones, there you go. That's just, consider that your little high tier, low tier frame of reference. Next one up is the Talia one, the SSG Talia one, I mean. And much like the Jarvan one, it is absolutely gorgeous. The colors on it are just amazing. They pop out, especially the cape effects on it. They're really nice. The rocks, you can consider it in two ways. One, just that, you know, it's honoring the team with, you know, with the effects, the smoothness of it, the porcelain looking stuff. But, or you can, if you ignore the whole team aspect of it, you can just assume, or I mean presume, that it's just Talia having mastered her rock abilities, and now she can make these sculpted porcelain kind of figurine thingies, or column-esque, you know, I'm just thinking of the Greek columns, but in this kind of shape. So you can imagine it as that too. It's just a ridiculously nice looking skin, gorgeous, her obviously best skin out of the two that she has, and you know, one of the better skins in the game in my opinion, especially at this price point. It's just unfortunate that if you didn't buy it for when it was available, well, you're kind of screwed. There's also a little bit of controversy in that, you know, championship skins don't get held against champions, but it seems Talia is being held against her because she hasn't received a new skin in a long time, even when she was quite popular. And Riot hasn't really stated anything, but some people surmise, like I said, is because she received this really good looking skin and they're just going to hold it against her because once her popularity fell apart, they just don't want to put the effort into it. But who knows, maybe she's getting one in the horizon somewhere in the future. I kind of really do hope she does, because I feel they could make a lot of elemental based stuff, much like Ornn. So, you know, maybe she can just shoot fire, she can shoot water. I know they already got ice ones, it's not that different. You know, it's just pool party. Talia is pretty easy, you know, a little surfboard here. So there's a lot of things they can do with her, just hopefully they actually do things with her. Alright, so I have a love-hate thing with Ivern. For starters, I was super hyped about having a support jungler, but then a lot of dumb things happened, and he turned out to be weird. Anyways, as far as skin goes, his Candy King one is probably one of the most hilarious, weirdest, and darkest ones he's ever had. I mean, ever had. Any champion has ever had. Like, again, the recall is probably the one that you all care about, where he just pretty much kills and eats all his citizens alive. He's a monster in this one. So, you know, all his abilities are candy-based. Little tiny candy bushes. Look at that, it's adorable. And he shoots like a candy thing. And then he just teleports to you. And he's all whimsical sound effects. And then like a little big old jawbreaker. And it explodes in the hearts. And then Daisy's just this gigantic cupcake that beats the living shit out of you. And then you look at the little simple cupcakes. So it's a ridiculously funny looking skin. It's adorable and all its goodness. It's, I don't even know what to say. It's just good. It's weird. Like, again, no other champion has ever had something so goddamn ridiculous. Go from just a tree to a candy monster. So, on that aspect, it's pretty interesting. It goes from silly to silly. So that kind of might be weird for some people, but there's like, what? One Ivern player and he hates playing Ivern for some reason, so there you go, I guess. Alright, so here's where I have a problem. So Ivern's first skin was a joke skin, and then his next skin was another joke skin, and it's way less funny and way less impressive than the candy one. So again, unique kind of return, except it's a lot less impactful because the other one's, you know, an actual kind of genocide going on. His particles are just basketball, more boring basketball stuff, and then a basketball shield. And I'm not saying that basketball is boring or anything, it's just the other one was super whimsy and everything, and all of this is just, you know, just put as many basketball tropes as you can. And you already kind of had the perfect kind of basketball thing going on with, you know, Darius. I kind of figured Ilaoi was going to be the one who received the Dunk Master skin, not this guy. And obviously then you got Daisy as a, you know, basketball brute. So it's just like, eh. Though that animation right there is kind of hilarious, the floating basketball thing. But yeah, it's just kind of like overdone, if anything. It's not bad, it's just kind of, I don't know why. It's just that's kind of the best way to put it. Why does this exist? But whatever, it's passable, but it does not hold a candle to the candy one. I don't know why you would. I don't know who wanted this, who will buy it, who has even bought it, considering there's no Iron players around. And, you know, why would you pick this over the candy one? Now, Aurelion Sol. Again, the same pattern as always. Reimagined skins are just cool. So you got Aurelion Sol, Jackass, Space Dragon, Cosmic kind of appearance. But what if he was more like an earthly dragon? Just kind of a regular small jerk. Yeah, there you go, fire. Fireballs instead of, you know, space dust falling around, fire particles, explosion, the sound effects, breath of fire, kind of such. So, that's it. What else do you really need in terms of that, right? He just kind of makes him still a godly looking dragon, you know, in terms of actual godliness, and but now he breathes fire, it seems more down to earth. There you go. It's just kind of a reimagining. Kind of how he was originally supposed to be, and then they decided to make him a space dragon instead. So if you kind of wanted a regular dragon, there you go. This skin lets you live it that way. So, yeah, it's a ridiculously good skin. Alright, this might be biased, but Mecha Aurelion Sol is like one of the greatest skins in the entire game. It is fan-fucking-tastic. It is just... Look at this thing. It's like, again, it's extraordinarily thematic, for starters. It looks glorious. It looks good. The little tiny comet things he would have floating around him are now little tiny spaceships. His Q is this, like, vortex space mecha, I don't know, ionizing vortex. I don't know what the hell I call it. And so you could see the ships actually get faster when you extend your little ozone or orbit, I mean. And that's just kind of fun to imagine that. The laser is just obviously a laser. You can see the little anime explosions happen around the stream. It's just an extraordinarily cool skin. Also, the recoil is probably one of the more... It's cool and hilarious. Right? It just basically comes this giant space starship thing. So, it's just nice. I don't know how better to put it. It's just a really nice skin. Like, a lot of thought went into it. Like, how can we make it more cool and, like, cool, edgy, cool, and funny at the same time? Everything just jam-packed into that. Like, look at that goddamn tail. It's so cool. It's like, I don't even know what that's called, or that, sci-fi art thing it's called, where, you know, the hexagons or pentagons, whatever they are just used as a sort of wall, like a cyber wall of some kind. So it's just a ridiculously cool imaginative skin. A lot of thought went to it. It's just a damn shame no one plays Aurelion Sol, and those who do play it don't want to spend money on this skin. I have only ever seen it be used once, and that was by me. And I didn't even buy it. I got it through the League Partner Program. It's just kind of a shame, isn't it? And there you go. So you really can't have a tier list for this since it's all sorts of different champions, but you can figure out which ones are the losers. You know, Reksai's Eternum skin is really low there. Kled skins, I gotta say, Kled's the one who comes out losing the most in this little list of the champions with the least amount of skins. And for the top ones, it's kind of a give or take about either Aurelion Sol versus Talia. So you can give me your opinions on which skins you think are the better ones amongst these. What kind of skin themes you think the Riot can sort of come up with them, because, you know, they seemingly have a lot of trouble figuring that out. And yeah, just sort of tell me what you think.